Cuba, it's me, episode 81 of The Willow Show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now today I wanted to talk about some of the great ideas I have. That's right, I think about wrestling all the time. I'm full of great ideas. And I always read these articles online that I don't even want to click on, but then after I go through 5 times I finally say, alright, I'm going to read it. And then I read about it and they're like, oh, the ratings are not good and this and that I'm talking like WWE and stuff. So how are they going to do it? I mean, back in the Attitude Era, they got such great ratings because they were doing stuff that hadn't been seen before. Now, I know it's entertainment, but people want to suspend their disbelief, and they love when the realism is incorporated. That's why last year the thing with the whole Miz and the Daniel Bryan thing was getting so over, because he was saying things about his real life, and they were using that. So what kind of ideas can they do to bring that, like, it's always so convenient, like, oh, Enzo gets attacked, but they happen to just have a camera there right after, like, why don't they, start a rumor, like, so-and-so got in a fight with so-and-so, but don't even show it on camera, just, like, put it out to the websites, have someone tweet about it, and then delete their tweet, and then all the wrestling websites will get on it and be like, oh, there was a real fight between these two guys. That'd be a good way. Or what about using, like, more of a ranking system, like, at the end of the year, whoever has more wins, or, like, what if they actually talked about merchandise sales, and they had, like, the SmackDown, like, Shane McMahon was talking with Kurt Angle, and they were, like, doing, like, the whole Superstar shakeup. I wish they would have done, like, real, like, we will trade you this guy for this guy, because we're looking for this, and this guy sells more merchandise, and this guy you want him because his house show attendance numbers are up, and stuff like that. I really wish they would play on the realism more, because all the fans seem to know this stuff nowadays anyway. And, like, what about, like, a ranking system where at the end of the year it's like the guy that had the most wins and losses? Why don't they make all these raw, meaningless matches mean something, so at the end of the year maybe that person could get the money in the bank? It's like, well, this guy had the best record of the whole season, and they should do it as a full season, like the day after WrestleMania until WrestleMania. That'd be the season, and then, like, they could have, like, the wild card playoffs. Like, they're so close to being a real sport. Why don't they treat it like a real sport? And, like with injuries, you always see the rehab videos. Why not have someone actually attack someone when they're injured, or like remember when Brian Pillman and Stone Cold, they went to each other's house? They could make it seem like that, even if they could just rent a fake house and stuff like that. And they could really do it like someone was actually injured and they were going to be making their return, and then someone attacked them when they were at the hospital. Or, like, I just love realism angles. It's so good. That's why Stone Cold was such a great character to me, because he seemed so real. Like, that's who he really was. And I just wish they would do some more. Like, what's some other great ideas we can come up with that will just change the way, not even in WWE, even in indie angles. Like, how could we do an angle? Like, I thought of all these great angles, but no one really cares. Like, could we really do, like, a feud between promotions? No, because no one would ever really get along, and everyone would be into business for themselves. But realism is really the way to go. Like, we should do stats too, like baseball and hockey and football and all them, basketball, they all have stats. So what if it was like, I don't even know how they could do it, like successful pinfall attempts? Like, he tried to pin him 10 times in this match, and he pinned him once. I don't know how it would work. Like, longest minutes in a submission hold, like, longest matches, maybe? Because if you're not getting pinned right away, then that means that you're hard to pin. So if you have a 15-minute match and this guy's losing after 5 minutes, maybe that could mean something. You've got more screen time. Or they could incorporate the ratings. They always look at the ratings. They could say, look, this guy's drawing a 3.5 rating. This guy's only drawing a 2. So I'll trade you this guy that's a 2 rating and this guy for a 2 rating for that one guy that's a 3 rating. And I know they're a publicly traded company, but some of the guys should be doing their own promos. They'd be much better at it. They know what their character is, and the realism, and like it just feels like Dean Ambrose, they're trying to make him funny, and it's like he's the lunatic fringe. Why is he being funny? And like I think they should also incorporate. Maybe they should do something with like not like a Japan invasion, but maybe like you know how Cody Rhodes is doing the independent scene now. Why don't they let some of their guys and just have them still under contract and get them to work the indies and get them to start an angle on the indies, like dissing WWE or dissing somebody in WWE, and then build it up where that guy shows up at the indie show, the actual WWE guy, but WWE has their hands in all the pot, but it's good for indie wrestling too, and then they translate it to the big screen. That would be kind of cool. Or like I thought of another one, like I'm a big fan of Ty Dillinger. Like I came up with him in wrestling for a while there, and I thought, what can they do to him? To, like they bring him in and he got this big push, and then now it's like, what are they gonna do for him for a story? What if they were like got him on Talking Smack or something like that, and we're like, Ty, you know, we were really happy to have you on the main roster, but I'm sorry, unless you win, you're going back to NXT. We're gonna demote you, like as an angle, and then like have him say, give me a chance, and like, why don't they say, it's creative, come up with something for me, like why don't they incorporate that, like give me a chance on the mic, or like give me one more match, and if I lose, then send me down to NXT, or something like that. Or why don't they have matches like an NXT star versus a WWE star? If the NXT guy wins, he gets his spot, or something like that. Like, make it seem more competitive. Like, the belt is the only thing people are competitive with, and the only other time is when they have a feud, and that's always because either it's a tag team that breaks up, or someone attacks someone else, and usually there's no reason for it. It's like, why is this person attacked? A lot of times it's like, oh, this person lost the match, and then the next week they attack them, so now they're in a big feud. But like, what if they like had reasons for the feud? What if they like showed, oh, someone played a backstage prank on this person, so now he's hot at them. There's so many great stuff that they could be doing and staying within the PG environment that could just, because everyone's like, everything's been done in wrestling so far. Well, a lot of it has, but the stuff that I go and read constantly about, the backstage stuff, this and that, like, why can't they incorporate that into it a little bit more? Have someone go on, like, Stone Cold podcast, or like even just like one of those Sam Roberts guys, and say something about one of the other guys, like, oh, I can't stand being in the locker room with him, or something like that, and then work from it. Like, I know sometimes they tell them to tweet stuff. Why can't they say, hey, go over here, do this, and then we'll let it build itself up? The internet always makes things bigger than they are. So once the internet makes it big, then people want to see it. And that's the way they should go about doing it. And then we could see some new, fresh things, fresh ideas that we haven't saw before. What if they had, like, why don't they have any mistakes ever? Like, when the Big Show and Brock Lesnar or even Braun Strowman, they broke the ring or whatever. But at an indie show, lots of times you see the rope break. Why don't they have the top rope break in a match on purpose, accidentally, and then, like, it would just make the dynamic of the match different? Or, like, let's see, like, they have cage matches, they have Hell in a Cell, they have ladder matches. My favorite one was the Buried Alive and the casket matches, because they were so different. What else could they do that's like a different kind of a gimmick match? Like, I watched Extreme Rules, and it really wasn't that extreme. They had like the kendo stick match, the steel cage match, and then the no DQ match at the end. But what if they had something like, I don't know, just a little bit different? What if you could be like, it's not pinfalls or submissions, it's like, I don't know, they do the 10-man standing, last man standing match where it's a 10 count, they can't get up. They've done ambulance matches. There should be something different that they could do that's never been done before. It's like, I don't know, have the doctor stop the match or something silly like that. Or what about rounds? Like, I know in the sport of wrestling, they do rounds. What if they had rounds and like a point system just for like one match, and or like rounds, and then not judge it? Because how would you judge it? Like, what points moves would be worth more points? But like, at the end of each round have the doctors check him, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, he cannot continue. Like, that would be kind of cool, something like that. So I just want to throw a bunch of ideas out there because I want to hear other people's ideas, and I just want to hear what people have to think about mine. I'm just rambling. Sometimes I just like to ramble, but like all these things I think in my head, it's just like sometimes it's good to vent and get them out there. So it's nice to do just that. And I hope you enjoyed listening. Maybe something will catch on with somebody, or they, like Tupac said, sometimes one word can spark an idea from someone else. So even if I didn't come up with the idea, it'd be nice to spark an idea in somebody else. This is episode 81 of The W.I.L.L.I.W Show. And remember, like, or you get a leg drop, comment, or you get a clothesline, subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!